Welcome to our Q&A.
Welcome to the Qua.
We put out a little box on my Instagram about a week ago. We don't flip back because you got me on the carpet last time.
Oh, I didn't. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Got a little bit on the couch. But you're,
you can't see them in the camera.
You can, but I'm just fixing it. Let me fix it. It's freaking tape ends.
Well, I have to get them moved up.
Okay.
Okay.
So welcome back to the channel.
Welcome back.
Couples Q&A. Not a relationship Q&A like dilemma style video, but a couples Q&A, questions you asked in a box on Instagram on her account about us.
Yes.
Or our thoughts on certain.
Just anything, which is a general Q&A about life, jobs, YouTube, anything.
Yeah.
I thought this was actually, the first question would be a good one to start with, so we'll just jump right in. Can you guys give a better explanation of what you do for a living? And then I'm gonna scroll down. So basically, Hunter and I both used to work full-time 9-to-5 jobs. I was a social media manager for Sephora collection.
Yep. And
Hunter works in tech sales.
I work in tech sales. I've always worked in sales and software sales. But yeah, both of our companies are headquartered in San Francisco.
Yes.
Where we moved from when we moved to Texas.
Yes, and we both worked from home for about, I worked from home for a year doing that and YouTube at the same time, and then it got super overwhelming, so I finally went full-time on YouTube. Hunter still has
I still have my
9-to-5
9-to-5 in software sales with my same company,
Yeah.
also in San Francisco.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm back and forth a lot. I don't go back to the office as much as I used to. But a lot of people also ask how we work from home, or like how we got a job working from home. And one thing I want to say and just make clear is we had to work from the office for like 3 years before we could work from home.
Yeah.
So it's very hard to just find a job where you're instantly remote if you haven't been remote before, for one, and also without putting the time with the company so they can build trust with you.
Yeah, so you can't really, it's hard to get jobs. Like a lot of people will message us like, oh, I want a remote job like fresh out of college. It doesn't really work that way.
Yeah.
It can, but you kind of have to like, put in the time first, and then if you're lucky, you can go remote, but it doesn't really happen like overnight.
And by the time we spent 3 years in our company, we'd also had 3 or 4 years of experience before that. So we've definitely like, put in time with companies and like gaining experience before we went remote.
Yeah.
But what we do, software sales, full-time YouTube.
Yeah.
YouTube for me is essentially like another full-time job. Like it's still a lot of like work and time.
Yeah.
She probably puts in 10, 11 hours a day on YouTube.
Yeah.
I probably spend about 7 to 8 hours a day on YouTube plus my full-time job. So like every hour that I'm working my full-time job, I'm doing YouTube. So it's like YouTube is like our focus. Obviously my job is important because that's what pays the bills and like that's our source of income.
Yeah.
But we do want to get to the point where YouTube is our number one like source of income.
We'd love to, because we obviously spend so much time doing it and we love making videos, so we would love to do it.
Yeah.
So, okay.
Hope for the best. I would love to go full-time YouTube at some point as well.
Yeah.
So not too far from that.
Okay, we got a question, one about how often we work out, and also how often we like snack or eat like junk food. So I thought those kind of go hand in hand.
Yeah.
So right now we are kind of in a, Hunter and I go through phases of like exercise, which is really bad. We're trying to work on it. Right now we're maybe working out once to twice a week if we're lucky. Yeah,
and we still like go on walks just about every day. Like we like to be outside and like move around because we are inside all day.
Yeah.
I would say it's slightly easier and harder to get on a routine because we work from home. A lot of people think like, oh, it's easier if you work from home to get on a routine. Maybe, but it's also easier when you're going to the office and you have a routine structured for you.
Yeah, and you're already out of the house.
Yeah, and so like you can come to the gym like on the way home from work or something like that. We're lucky enough to have a gym in our neighborhood where we should, it's lame that we don't work out more than we do, but we really focus and prioritize on eating healthy.
Yeah, to counteract that. I mean, we definitely want it to be more part of our lifestyle, but I think in return, we try to eat like pretty plant-based and like I would say clean Monday through Friday. I always say this is like our rule of thumb. So mostly vegetables, light on the gluten, light on dairy, light on sugar Monday through Friday, and then on the weekends is when we indulge. So we'll go to Shake Shack, we'll go get pasta and wine, like So I would say maybe like the weekends are our time to like kind of splurge on treats and junk food, and then majority of the week we try to keep it healthy.
She starves me during the week, and then on the weekends
whatever.
I splurge. No, but
you like eating healthy.
But I do like eating healthy. That's like I actually really enjoy it a lot. We do eat pretty light during the week, but on weekends we're also foodies, I would say.
Yeah.
I hate calling myself a foodie, but in reality, like we are. We like to try new places. We like really good food. We're down to spend like more on something that's like a delicacy just to try it out versus just like eat at Shake Shack every night. At the same time, we love Shake Shack, we love In-N-Out, we love Chick-fil-A. Like, we
don't even care if it's fancy, it just has to be good.
Good, yeah, exactly. Yeah. And so
there's a difference between good and like not good food. We've eaten at like nice restaurants around here that we were like, that was so overpriced and it was not even that good. Yeah. Like you don't have to go expensive to get good food. It's just finding good tasting food.
And when we travel, that's what we like really focus our travels around a lot of times, is like where our meals are each night. And I think that's probably pretty standard. Nothing bums me out more than like being on vacation somewhere and being like, hey, y'all just want to like stop at the Chili's, and it's like, I don't really want, like, I want to try something that's cool and local and yummy. So
yeah,
not a knock on Chili's, I just can eat Chili's anywhere.
Right. Okay, we got a lot of questions about managing money, about how we budgeted for a house, how do we budget now? So we can maybe just do like a general answer on like managing money. So basically, this has been like a learning process for us. Like we used to spend a lot of money and we didn't really have like any budgeting or structure. This is like when we got out of college.
Yeah.
And we both quickly realized like we've never struggled or anything like in terms of our budget, like where we really put ourselves in a bind.
We've never spent outside of our means.
Right.
Like, but we have spent more than we probably should have in certain cases.
Totally. I think we both realized like we really like having savings, and we always want to have money in a savings account, even if we don't have a goal. But it helps to have a goal of something to save for, like a house. I think it's just being responsible and just knowing like there are just sacrifices you have to make if you want to save up money for like a house. So that's kind of what we did.
Yeah. And one thing we say a lot to each other is let's save for a house. Like even though we already are in a house, we always talk about like let's save for a house. Like let's be saving for a house. Not like we're actually gonna buy a house. Maybe we will, maybe we won't. But we always talk like let's save for the next house, so we can still focus on like, all right, if we were to buy another house, what would we need in savings? And I think it's always, we like thinking that way to know that like, okay, let's say that savings isn't necessarily for a house, but it's there for something. It's there for when you have kids. It's there for when we do get pregnant, or
you need like a blanket, a security blanket.
An emergency fund. But we think about it in our heads because we associate saving for a house, because that's when we first got serious in savings, was like, we want to buy our first house, let's start saving. So now when we talk about it, we just kind of joke around and say like, let's start saving for a house.
Totally. And I think like if you don't have any sort of system right now for budgeting, or if you're just trying to figure out your life, what we did when we were trying to develop a budget is we made a Google Doc, because you can share that with your partner and you guys can both access it anywhere. Like you're at the office. A Google Sheet, and it's like an Excel doc kind of, and we would put in all of our bills, like from electric to water to TV, phone bills, literally everything in one place, how much it was per month, how much both of our jobs were bringing in per month, and then add it all up, and how much do you have left over at the end of the month. Then you at least know, like once your bills are covered, oh, okay, like I have $1,000 left over. Well, I want to put 500 of that into savings, and then the other 500 is maybe spent towards like travel and fun stuff.
Like nights out.
Yeah.
Here's the thing, no matter how much money you make, you should know that type of stuff.
Yes, you just need to be aware of how much is coming in.
Yeah, and we're actually gonna do another Spritz and Chips specifically to budgeting.
Like we'll do a breakdown.
And savings, we're gonna do like a whole breakdown and walk you through our like Google spreadsheet, what that looks like, the way we've structured it. But just know it is very important, and that's really how we focused on saving. Yeah. Which was set a goal for yourself, kind of work backwards to that goal. Like say, here's everything we make, here's everything we pay for bills, here's what we have left over, here's how much is going to savings, here's how much extra we have to spend on fun, free stuff. So.
Exactly. So you'll learn and just make responsible choices on what you can afford and what you can't.
Yeah, totally.
Okay, any trips coming up soon? Yes, we are leaving for Paris next week. So as you're watching this, we'll be leaving next Thursday.
Yep. I actually leave personally, I leave for Portugal in a day. Not tomorrow, but today is Friday. We're filming this.
Yeah.
I don't leave tomorrow, Saturday. We're actually going to Posty Fest to see Post Malone. And then Sunday, I leave for Portugal for work to Lisbon. And I'll be there from Sunday night, like Monday morning, through Friday morning, and then I'll meet her in Paris on Friday. Yeah,
we're gonna go. Hunter's parents are coming with us, and we're really excited. They've never been to Paris, so get to like show them around. And
then after that, you have a Germany trip coming up soon.
Yeah, Germany in December, and then we are meeting my family in Hawaii for Christmas. So
to see Hawaii sister Sophie.
It'll be very exciting. Okay. Oh, I thought this would be a good one to answer. Who did you guys vote for? Do you have differing political stances, since I am from California and he is from Texas? So, I know, like,
it's a good question. I'm sure people wonder that.
Are probably curious.
We don't ever talk about politics on our channel, and the reason being,
it's because we are not political.
We're not political at all.
We don't follow politics.
And I know that's probably like a slap on the wrist.
Yeah.
We stay informed, but we don't follow politics and get caught up in like all the stuff that takes place. Like it's nothing that's it's out of our control, and I know like every vote matters. We haven't voted for president.
We did not vote. I know before people jumped down our throats like you have to vote, like we're sorry, we didn't feel like it would be a responsible decision to vote because we didn't have a strong enough backing on either party. So
and we don't want like
we don't want to vote for no reason,
or friends in Texas or family members or anyone tell us who to vote for. We want to vote with an informed stance and vote for what we believe in. And although like I grew up conservative, you grew up conservative yourself.
Yeah. Like our families. I think where we find ourselves the most, Hunter and I have the same views politically whenever we do have these types of discussions. And I think where we land is somewhere in the middle. We find both parties are way too extreme, and we just think that usually when we're like saying like, oh, how do you feel about like that topic or this topic, we find ourselves landing somewhere in the middle. So I would say that's kind of where our views are.
I almost hate that it has to be like, it's so black and white.
Like you have to choose one.
Like there's two buckets. I don't like that necessarily. There's like pros and cons of both.
Yeah.
And there's extremes of both, and there's like non-extremes of both. And I would say we are somewhere like closer to the middle of like being in the non-extremes of both, like right there in the middle. And so I almost wish there were like 6 parties to choose from versus 2, because I don't like being bucketed in general, like in anything in life. Much less
for
politics that ties to religion, that ties to spirituality, that ties to morals. It's just like it's
so complicated.
It's too much.
And what I was gonna say is that I think like too, we always like to, I think we're pretty open-minded, so we like to hear like all sides. And I think typically when it comes to a certain topic, we see a lot of the different perspectives. And so again, just kind of like having like that neutral stance in the middle, I think just making sure that you understand something before you're gonna stand behind it, and you really like feel it and have like a good opinion about it. We don't ever want to talk like out of our ass, just like, jump on trains or anything. We're not about that. So.
And last thing I'll say is this, I don't want to sound hippie, not that there's anything wrong with hippie, but we're a big proponent of like, just love one another. Like that's like what it comes down to. It's like if you're just like, nice to each other and respect each other. And I think our mind has opened and definitely fallen in the middle from a political standpoint, because we're open to hearing everyone's viewpoint on things. And so you learn a lot that way versus being so closed off.
Totally.
And I think also just in general,
balance people.
The world would be a better place if everyone just loved. I'm sure there's many songs about it, but like just love each other.
Just be nice, be cool, and get along. And I think another perspective that's really unique is that we've lived in San Francisco and we've lived in Dallas, which are probably the 2 most opposite political places
Dallas
ever.
is actually pretty liberal.
Yeah, it is actually. It's getting like
city,
real liberal.
Like any big city is liberal.
Yeah. So, I don't know. We're pretty balanced. We're open.
Yeah.
Okay, so let's see. Lots of questions about the renovation property and when that is going to be started. If you guys are confused on that, we actually have a renovation property here in Texas that we are going to work on renovating next year.
We've had it longer than we've actually had this house. We've had it for like coming up on 3 years.
I guess.
Yeah, 3 years. And we haven't really done much with it in 3 years, except like gut it. It's pretty gutted.
Yeah.
And we've been meeting with architects and stuff over the past few months, and we've pretty much chosen our architect. Now we're choosing a builder, and once that is finalized, we'll start the project hopefully like in early January is when we'll actually start the plans and drawing everything up, and we'll take you along the whole process. So
yes.
Don't you worry. 2020
is gonna be like the year of the renovations, you guys. I know we've like showed it before, but honestly,
that was like a sneak peek.
It's exciting, but it's a lot of work. Like you don't even realize. If you've done renovations, then you understand, but like.
And the renovations here at this house that y'all have kind of seen, that was definitely our focus and what we wanted to put most of our energy into.
Yeah.
Because we work from here, and this is what we see every day.
This is like our office, our home, like it's our everything.
This is our home that we live in. So like, we wanted to take care of like the backyard, take care of the YouTube studio, like the filming space, take care of just like other areas of the house, get it the way we want. So now we have this like working space that we can get everything else done in.
Totally.
We took a bathroom break. Well, she did. A
lot of people want to know how you feel about like me starting YouTube and like now doing it full time. People want to know your thoughts.
How do I feel about you leaving your full-time job and going into YouTube full-time?
Yes.
I think it's badass. I honestly, like, that was the goal from the beginning. Not only just like Julia's goal, that was like our goal. We were very much on the same page with that. And so we were living in California. Actually, you know what? Before we even moved to California, we were living in Dallas. And we knew at some point, like, we were going to get into this industry. She was working at Reward Style at the time, and we had just been like learning a lot about the industry, both of us. And YouTube was something she had wanted to do since she was younger, and she was thinking about starting a blog. And I was very much a advocate on like you doing YouTube, like going for it. That's what you're passionate about. And so when she started the channel, right when we moved to San Francisco, initially, before we realized how expensive it was in San Francisco, we were like, how about you just start a YouTube channel and like that can be your job?
Just because I didn't have anything, well, I hadn't had my job yet. So
she didn't have her Sephora job
why don't I start working on that?
But she was still thinking about getting like a part-time job or a full-time job, something like that. So I don't want to go too much into the details, but I'll give you like a little bit of backstory. She started her YouTube channel, and the goal from day one was for this to be a full-time job. And so in California, like, we don't necessarily have regrets from when we lived there, but we gave up a lot when we lived there, both of us. Like, I would come home from work, she would come home from work, and we would edit videos, or like fashion hauls or beauty videos, and like editing them. Like, we spent a lot of time at home. So although we were living in like one of the most beautiful places in the country, with so much to do, we didn't really leave our house because we were just like honed in on like this goal at hand, which was to get Julia to the point where she could leave her full-time job and take YouTube full-time. Because ultimately at that point, we then wanted to make it where I could then leave my job at some point and also take YouTube like seriously. We didn't initially start the channel as Julia and Hunter because we didn't necessarily know we were going to get into the vlog side of things. We thought it was going to be like more like beauty and fashion and stuff like that. But like really more than anything, I think when it first started, I think it was like at some point we have the opportunity to go full-time regardless of the name of the channel. Like, I thought at some point I would go full-time even if it was just Julia Havens and she was only doing like makeup content. If she was to grow as a makeup YouTuber or whatever, I still saw myself as like handling the back end business side of things.
Yeah, totally.
Regardless.
We always knew we'd do it together.
Yeah, we always knew we'd do it together, regardless of like what the branding was. And then once we got into vlogging, we were like, hey, we actually enjoy this the most, more than anything. And we didn't necessarily see like a lot of opportunity in it, but we also saw, the opportunity we saw was, this is the way we can be the most real and let people into our lives and just like showcase that. Yeah,
and I think like the difference is that, Hunter, like, I think a lot of husbands are actually involved. I think it's really hard to run a channel like all by yourself. So most people, their husbands are doing like most of the back end work, or they are their business partner. So I think the difference is that Hunter just like is outgoing and likes being on camera too. Like, he's not bothered by it, where I think a lot of husbands are probably like a little bit more shy. So that's been convenient because we get to do it together.
I've always enjoyed the back end business side of the YouTube channel, like the contract deals, editing videos, content planning, stuff like that, really being strategic and like focused on like the data of the channel. because that's what the business I'm in already.
You're definitely good at that.
But once we started vlogging more, we were like, let's just brand it as a couples channel because we are a couple and that's what we show. Long story short, that was like a huge goal, and it was definitely like a milestone that we were both like really focused for. And I think I've worked harder over the past 3-4 years in my job to support us to get us to the point where we are now, in the sense of like her stepping away from her job and giving up an income to take YouTube full time.
What time do you guys go to bed usually? You always wake up super early. Not really. Hunter wakes up earlier than me because he has to start work, but I usually wake up around 7:30 or 8. If I have a lot to do that day, I'll set my alarm for like 6 because I know I gotta I feel like my days just like fly by so fast that I'll be like, if I don't wake up at 6, like I'm not getting everything done. But usually we get in bed at like 10:30 usually. Yeah. And then sometimes we don't fall asleep till like 11 or 11:30, but we would love to go to bed earlier than that.
If we want to watch like a show, we try to plan on it. Like plan ahead, so we'll get in bed at like 9, so our show ends at like 10:30.
Yeah,
we're still like in bed on time, but there's definitely times where we go to sleep at like midnight.
Yeah,
without
which
paying attention.
I hate.
But even then, we still try to get up at like 7:30.
Let's see. How often do we fight? P.S. Love you guys both. Probably like, I mean, we more of our fights are like just bickers and like little fights that you would have like just with somebody that you live with, you know, like annoying things. Like
we don't really ever get in,
we don't get like
big fights,
deep fights.
Like the time where we get in
maybe
big
like
fights,
once a year we get in like a
bigger argument,
deeper fight. But that's, I think, normal. People go through issues and sometimes those things come up and then you have to like work through them. And
I think the interesting thing, kind of going back to like the full-time YouTube question earlier, is like we are business partners, and we also both work from home, so we're together a lot.
Yeah,
we're together at home a lot, and we're like together working on something like together a lot.
Yeah.
And so we try really hard to do a good job about separating like our business relationship and our actual like marriage and our actual relationship. It is challenging because a lot of the arguments and bickers are almost one and the same, or they kind of like overlap.
Yeah.
And so
it's a lot of gray area.
There's times where we like get frustrated with each other and bicker about something on the YouTube side, where it's like we're planning strategy and like bickering over something about that, and it then gets carried into like your relationship and your personal relationship. And so that's been like a learning experience for sure. I think we've had to like work through that and just like learn from it. Like I don't think anything could ever get between us where there was like a huge issue, but we always say communication is something that's really important, and we're pretty good about that.
And I think if that ever did happen, then we would dial back, like we'd have to take a step back from YouTube or something. We would never let it ruin our relationship.
We never let YouTube ruin our relationship. No. We would rather our relationship ruin YouTube. Yeah.
Okay. What's a good one? A lot of people said, like, if you could live anywhere, where would you live? Are you guys thinking about moving to another state? If your dream place to live, for like where would you go? So I think maybe we could answer that.
Yeah.
I can't think.
For me, I would say we're pretty open. Like, I think it's hard to just say like, oh, this is a place we're gonna live forever. I think it's easy to, like, some people can find that. I think you settle for multiple reasons. Like you settle for, like, once you have kids and your kids find friends, like it's a good reason to settle because you don't want to like pull your kids away from something they like enjoy. Or being close to family, or kids' school, or, you know, something like that. But we're definitely,
think like if you didn't have to think about all those things and it was just like wherever, I feel like Europe would be fun. Like if your family was just magically there and all of your comforts were with you, then Europe
would be really cool. I don't know where in Europe we'd want to go.
I think, or like I don't know about Australia. We really want to visit Australia. We imagine that we'll really like it.
We're gonna try to go in February. Like, hold us to it, because we really want to make it happen. So we want to go in February. Everyone says, or like a lot of our family and friends say, that if we go to Australia, we're not coming back. So we could see ourselves in Australia, and that's saying that without ever going there. We also love Nashville. Yeah. We thought like at one point we were like, we'll move to Nashville in like 2 years to give it a try while our kids are young or something like that. So we'll see. We're open.
We are open. Okay.
We want to work on the other property though first and get that finished before we even start thinking about that.
Let's see.
Would you ever get matching tattoos?
Yes.
We would.
We want one. We just don't know what yet. Maybe like when we have a baby, or like something with the baby or something.
Yeah, maybe we'll just get like a goose.
Oh, this is a good one. A goose. What if we just got his name? Like Goose, like G-O-S-E.
What if we got...
like when he dies.
What if we got the Grey Goose logo because it's like goose and we like vodka?
No, that's terrible.
That's stupid. Do you drink?
Someone said, do you guys drink and smoke? Like,
well,
how we drink?
We drink for sure. I'm having a cocktail, like a whiskey ginger right now.
We don't drink abnormally.
We don't drink abnormally.
Drink casual.
I think I don't think y'all think we drink a lot, but we do like to have like a cocktail every couple days.
We just show it. I think
cocktails.
that a lot of people don't show that they drink as like influencers. Like, oh, if you have like wine at night, it's like a lot of people do that.
Not a big deal. Or like after, usually when I'm working, I'm like really focused all day long on my computer, and then I leave that and go straight into like working on YouTube and like editing videos and stuff.
Yeah.
So like mentally I'm like usually built up, and so sometimes I'll just like step away and have a cocktail and, you know, kind of wind down.
Usually we won't drink during the week. Like on weeknights we try not to. I just don't think it's good for you to drink too much. But if it's like higher stress time, then we find ourselves like opening a bottle of wine at night.
Or like reasons to celebrate. We celebrate with like a bottle of wine a lot.
Yeah.
And we like to also,
it's
when
fun.
we come down at the end of the day and we can have like a moment together, we like to pop open a bottle of wine or make each other a cocktail as like a treat.
Yeah. I mean, we like drinking.
Yeah. It's rare that we're intoxicated. I don't feel like we get drunk.
We don't drink like to get drunk. We just drink.
We're not really partiers.
No.
We just.
Oh yeah, someone asked if we were heavy partiers in college. They said it seems that way. I was like, really? Interesting.
Not really.
We weren't. Neither of us were ever big partiers.
I didn't have my
first. Like, not our personality.
I didn't have my first sip of alcohol until I was like 20.
Yeah, you didn't.
And then I drank a little bit. Like I would say I like had my normal like party stage when I was
both of us did
21 probably, or like a sophomore in college, something like that.
I think it's normal.
But then like once we met our junior years, like we didn't really party.
No, we didn't.
We would like kind of drink how we do now. We'd have like wine. We'd go to dinner and get like a beer.
Totally.
Yeah,
but we definitely like to have fun. Like if we're gonna get like all our friends together, like we will like have a couple more drinks than normal. Like we like to do that every once in a while, but not heavily. And in college we just went through normal party phases, but never off the deep end where it was like, whoa, like you guys need to reel it in. Like neither of us, that's not our personalities.
Yeah, we do like trying like different alcohols,
different
cocktails,
because it's good.
Going to like kind of bougie cocktail like bars that are like craft, just trying new things.
Let's see. Oh, so many. Okay.
Any advice for new homeowners? I have a piece of advice actually. Especially if you're about to buy a house. Buy a house like knowing your budget, but buy a house knowing that you'll also have to spend money on furniture and furnishing the house as well.
Yes.
So a lot of times people are like, oh, I'm gonna buy the house of my dreams, or I'm gonna buy a house, like we now have this much budget to buy a house with, and then you buy that house and it's empty. And that's a mistake a lot of people make. So buy the house knowing that you have like money left over to furnish it, and just know that that's like an expense in itself. That's
definitely. And a backyard. Backyard is money as well. So yeah, I would like build in a little extra for that in your budget. Like, yeah, depending on how expensive your taste is. Did Hunter ever consider quitting his job and doing YouTube full time with you? Yes, I think we already kind of covered that. Am I pregnant? No, I'm not pregnant. How did you and Hunter meet and how long?
We met at a party, like a little frat party, and we dated for 4 years before we got married. Yeah,
and we have a whole relationship Q&A where we answered like how we met, how we got engaged, how long we've been dating, like everything. So we'll link that below. If you submitted questions about like our relationship specifically, we've covered a lot of that.
Best part about living in Texas?
I would say like the convenience of everything and like the affordability. So it's like very comfortable. Like you have space.
It's like homey.
It's very homey. It's calm. I like calmness, kind of like a little bit quiet, but if you want to go into the city to get like a scene, you can.
I think comfortability is what makes something homey.
Yeah.
And so here, there's a lot of comfortabilities that are provided, like having like space and like a home or like really good friends. Like,
yeah, I think like because it's a more slow-paced, family-oriented environment, that it tends to create a kind of mood where people, versus like New York City or San Francisco, everyone's like very hustle and bustle. It's like career driven, very work focused. And then you come somewhere like here and people don't necessarily value that as much. It's more about relationships and families. So it feels, that's very comforting, I find, versus people who are just like hustling all the time. They don't really have time to like hang out and like, so I like that.
We love coming like home to Texas, being away for a while and like coming to our house.
It's like very
I feel like Texas offers that like feeling.
For sure. Okay. How do you find good quality friends instead of a bunch of acquaintances?
You tell us.
Yeah, that's a hard one, guys.
It's actually really hard.
It's very hard.
I think it's finding people that are similar to you.
Yes. Which is not like, I was listening to a sermon on this actually, and like Tim Keller was saying that like friendships are discovered, they're not forced. So friendships like literally happen. I mean, you can definitely make more of an effort to seek them out, but you're not gonna click with everyone that you meet, and that's fine. And I don't think there's any way that you could ever keep up with like a ton of friendships. You have to find people that like, it's like an accident almost. Like you're like, oh, you see the world like this? Like, well, I see it the exact same way, and we, like, it's a choice, and like you give a lot in a friendship, so.
But effort, putting effort in with friends, friendship is work.
Yeah.
Like, that's one part that's like something we've both had to learn over time. And your sister's really good at this, Nicolette.
Really good.
And really all of her friends that she's friends with are really good at that.
Yeah.
It's like about putting in time, checking in on them, calling them, ask them questions. It's like a lot of people think friendship, they feel good in their friendship because your friend asks a lot about you and people like talking about themselves, but it's like, ask about them too.
It's a two-way relationship, just
street.
like a romantic relationship almost.
Yeah.
And I think we would rather have fewer friends and have them be super deep and close versus a ton of friends. Okay, let's do a couple more and then, oh, someone asked our Enneagram types.
I don't know mine yet.
Hunter doesn't know his yet because he needs to take it, so we thought we'd do like a spritz on that, but I am a 4. I don't really know much about it.
I wonder if he took it again, if he would still be a 4.
I know. Okay, a lot of questions about YouTube and how the channel grew really fast, tips for starting, things like that. I don't think it grew as fast as you guys think it did. 4
years.
4 years,
You've been doing it
you
for
guys.
4 years.
And honestly, the channel's like not that big considering the time. There are people that like grow way faster, but I think like you just have to be, my advice is if you really want to do it, give it 3 months, go full force for 3 months, see if it's something that you like doing. You might not like making videos, editing them, like there's a lot that goes into it behind the scenes.
There's a lot that people don't realize, and once you start doing it, it's way more work and effort than you even realize. So there's a ton of people that start and do it for like a week and they're like, no thank you. Yeah,
like this is not for me, and that might be you. So give it a try, and then if you're really serious about it and you want to grow, minimum of 2 to 3 videos per week. Try a bunch of different topics, see what resonates with people, and that's when you'll pick up on what is growing.
Here's the thing, one last tip, is it's not about how fast you grow, it's about like what you're creating as you grow. So like what are you branding yourself as? Like, and like I think going into it, you're like, I'm gonna grow super fast. Like when you were just doing like makeup and some fashion videos, you weren't really growing that fast because the space was kind of convoluted in that area.
Yeah. It's like finding like where you connect with people, just finding the right topics for you. And sometimes you'll start in one area and realize, wow, that's like not what I'm good at, and you'll find what you're really good at, like just through practicing. But a lot of people think it's like all about growth. Like it's not a business until you grow really big, but like you can make an income from YouTube when you're super small as long as you have the right audience. Yeah. You can also make $0 having 1 million subscribers if you're just doing prank videos or something like that. Like some people want to get big by creating a viral video, and you're either selling yourself or creating a video of something that you're not necessarily. And so we try to really create, our goal with YouTube was to create something that was like authentic, that can be long lasting, because we're just bringing the camera with us versus like putting a bunch of effort in selling our souls to do something that's not really us, or just doing a bunch of prank videos that like, yeah, they're funny, and I have watched prank videos before, but it just wasn't who we were. No, so it doesn't feel natural. Like you can grow really quickly by doing something like that, and I don't know, commenting on
Trump tweets or something like that, but like, why? Just to grow and be popular, or are you trying to create like a long-lasting brand?
Totally. How do you balance out life? Girl, I don't know. We are like always trying to figure that out, but I don't think we initially have it figured out. I think it's a constant process, and everyone's always trying to figure out a balance for their life. So don't expect to have it all figured out.
Take notes from Julia and write things down. Like,
yeah,
if you can plan things out for your day, it helps you plan out things for the week, for the month, for the year, for like the future, and keeps you a little bit more organized.
Totally. My lifesaver. Okay, let's pick just like 2 more.
Are you going to have kids together? No, we're gonna have them with other people.
We've covered this. We get this asked all the time. Yes, we're gonna have kids.
Tips for graduating college. This is a big thing. Like, this is a thing we're actually really passionate about, and we'll probably have another Spritz and Chips about like some tips for graduating college.
Life, yeah.
We're always surprised at like, we're surprised at the fact that there's not more guidance on what to do after you graduate college. And my biggest tip, and actually like, I don't know, I'm very passionate about this, is it's not a bad thing if you live with your parents when you first graduate. Like,
yeah,
live with your parents for a year, live with them for 6 months, 2 months, whatever. It helps you get your feet off the ground. It helps you save money. Don't go move in with your parents and then spend the money that you're making from your job, like all the money you have. Like, a lot of people go move with their parents. They're like, oh, I'm rent free. I'm making this money, so now I can go buy this new pair of Jordans, or I don't know, like this new car. Or don't go and do that and spend all your money on something like that.
It's a way to get ahead.
Use that as a moment to get ahead. And also within that, set a timeline for how long you're gonna live with your parents. So say I'm only gonna live with my parents for a year. Like, I'm gonna live with them for 12 months, for 18 months,
and
a year and a half.
My goal is to save $10,000 so that I can move out on that date, so I can pay my own apartment bills. And you have to set like a structure for yourself.
And here's the thing, you're not, once you move out of your parents' house and move into an apartment, you're not gonna be saving the same amount of money anymore. And that's what you're planning for. Like, the whole point is to save some money, so when you take that hit when you move out, it's not as big of a hit. But the hit is so valuable. Like, that's where you learn how to be an adult, is when you aren't making as much money and you're not saving as much money and you're getting scrappy and you're paying your apartment. And it's also like, you feel good about it. Like, it's no longer feeling entitled, but you can feel like a little bit of like
independence. It gives you confidence to like support yourself and like work for something. Like, it really does build confidence. I think like so many young people are like afraid of that, and it's like so good. It's the best thing that you can do, I think.
Yeah, Gary Vee actually talks a lot about this.
Follow him, yes.
Go follow Gary Vee. He's actually like, he's very, very blunt and honest with his views, and like some people might not like that. I know our parents' generation probably don't like that at all, with how like blunt he is with that type of stuff. But yeah, it's like, you know, it's the time after college is about growing up and making it on your own. And a lot of us have been blessed by our families to go like move in with them for a little bit. Use that as a time to get ahead versus like live a luxurious life and show it off on Instagram.
Okay, last question. We got a lot of questions about our faith and did we grow up Christian? A lot of just kind of like general questions, like just to talk about it. Hunter grew up Christian and like literally going to church every Sunday, every Sunday
Wednesday morning, every Sunday night, every Wednesday, like 3 times a week.
Like regimented.
Yeah.
And I grew up Catholic, but very casually. Like, I would say, didn't really like develop that spiritual walk until I was an adult. So it's actually kind of a cool part of our relationship, because it's something that we kind of approached together. Well, when we met, like Hunter kind of started bringing me to church, and I was able to like explore that a little bit more.
We definitely, like, we are Christian, and when she says like we entered that together, it was like everyone goes, a lot of people who grow up Christian go into college and kind of like,
it's like a journey.
And a lot of people have regrets, and like I never went through that phase where I was like, oh, I can't believe I lived this way. It's like, yeah, I partied, like who doesn't in college? But like, that's nothing to regret. Like, you're just a human, and it's like, we still drink and so whatever. But I say all that because once I got serious, like going back to church, it was kind of around the same time we met. So like we were kind of entering this life together.
This is a big phase.
We grew together. Like we grew almost more spiritual in our relationship than we did as individuals. And so now we created that base. It's not necessarily the best approach, but like, now it's all about individual approach.
I think what's really cool and unique about our relationship, I think what's really cool and unique about our relationship and in our faith is that and what is cool about spirituality in general is that everyone's like walks with God are so different. Yeah. And Hunter and I's like relationships with God are completely opposite because of like, we obviously grew up in totally like different ways. So I think like
different
for him,
backgrounds, childhoods, experiences, and just like things you go through in your life. So like,
totally.
You have just a different spiritual walk.
For sure. And I think that if you're like not a believer, you don't have like a spiritual journey and you're watching this, I think like what was the way that I kind of came about it was that I was like very spiritually curious. And I always had that like deep rooted inside of me. I just didn't really understand it or like never spent like time on it. And when I was like started going to church more, I just felt a really strong connection to God, and like it was very natural for me. I was just like so interested and curious and like drawn to him. Like I just wanted to know more and more and more, and that's like what kept me like naturally like going to him and like wanting to grow. So I think that God pulls people in for different reasons. So like there are reasons that like Hunter goes to God like for reasons in his life, and me for different reasons. Like everyone's heart is different. And it keeps us like teaching each other a lot because our perspectives are different, don't you think?
So like we mutually bring value into each other's walks based on our own walk. Totally. Like I almost grew more spiritual. I grew more spiritually during Julia's growth than I did as like a kid going to church every day. Like watching Julia kind of take her walk for the first time almost and like grow in that after being curious. I just learned and saw so much through that like she teaches me things every day. I teach her things. We learn together. We have our own walks, but we also have our own like we have our relationship is like a spiritual journey in itself as well.
And I think it's cool that Hunter grew up in like such a church culture that there are so many like amazing qualities about that he is able to like that he's able to like kind of bring to our family and like lead with. And at the same time, there are a lot of things about church culture that can like maybe push you away from God or can be like confusing. And I think that's like where I come in. I'm not growing up in that culture. I see things a lot differently. And I don't have that preconceived set of like expectations around spirituality. So we're able to like kind of work off of each other with that.
Yeah, totally. And that's the thing is like for me, I grew up, like you said, that way where I was like so involved and it was like a lot of pressure for my surroundings and just like culture in general. It's not a bad culture by any means, but it's like it almost creates like expectations that are hard to like almost live up to in a way.
Totally.
And so when I like went to college, I didn't necessarily turn around the other way, but I was able to step back and look at it differently. So it almost made me I almost had to step back and reevaluate, make the decision for myself.
To separate, like, the expectations.
I had to separate the expectation and, like, religion itself from, like, what I believed in, what my journey looked like, and then create that on my own as an individual as I became an adult kind of thing.
Totally.
So, it's kind of confusing.
But I think that if you're curious or interested, I think that's really cool. It's a good sign. If you're
curious
not,
for the first time, a really cool pastor
is Tim Keller.
Yeah. We would recommend that. We would recommend him and his sermons to a lot of people because he's very factual and almost more from like a scientific background, very intellectual, as Julia mentioned, and just like factual with the way he teaches. He's teaching you versus trying to sell you. Yeah. And he's just really good.
But I think that
it's a very unbiased approach.
Very. And I think that the spirituality in general is just something like that is really special for you to have, and it's completely individual. It's your own experience, and it will make you a better person, more in touch with who you are, and kind of ground you. So anyways,
look, I'm sure some of y'all are Christians. I'm sure many of you aren't. I'm sure many of you are other religions, and like, great.
Yeah, we can all be friends.
We can all be friends.
It's all good.
Like, it's.
I think people should be different.
I think a lot of people see, like, religion, like Christian or Islam, or like it's very exclusive, and that's not what it is. It's not what it should be.
It shouldn't be that.
It's definitely become that in people's eyes and definitely in people's actions, but that's not what we're about. Once again, we preach like just love each other.
Yeah.
Just like
be nice. Everyone be cool. And that's probably what you should be doing if you like actually believe in Jesus.
Yeah.
Anyways, okay. We're gonna wrap this up because we've probably been rambling on for like.
And we actually have like a lot more questions, so we'll probably do a round 2 of this with some of the questions y'all asked. But hopefully you enjoyed this video. Hit the like button down below.
And subscribe.
Hit subscribe if you haven't already.
And what do we have coming soon? We've got a lot of videos.
I can't even, we just got so much. We planned our calendar the other day, and we aren't doing vlog week this month.
Oh yeah, we should say that.
We're not doing vlog week this month intentionally, so don't be like, oh, it's not, we want to do so bad. We know y'all like it. We love it too. We're sad we're not doing it, but there's a great reason why we're not doing it. One of those reasons is because we're prepping for Vlogmas, which is going to be
hefty.
30 straight days of what you normally see as a vlog week.
Yeah.
Or 31 days. 25.
30. Well, 25. I don't know. 25 at the minimum.
Or 31, depending on if we do the full month or through Christmas.
Yeah.
But regardless, we're prepping for that. But also, we have so many videos that we're trying to push to you before Vlogmas starts, because Vlogmas is going to be like Vlogmas.
Vlogmas is going to be a lot.
So
there's just other videos we want to.
We got a lot of content planned that we want to push to you. So there's no time for Vlog Week this month.
No.
We're still doing weekly vlogs. We're still doing our normal videos that Julia puts out.
Yeah.
We just got a lot of cool stuff that we're about to put out.
And we want to focus on like some house videos for you guys to get up before Vlogmas, just because we know you guys have been asking for those, and we need that week to like do that stuff. So, anyways, we love you guys. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you soon.
Love you.
Bye.
Bye.
Tell me how you feel right now.